Hello, hello. I think I may have finally fixed the problem. Hopefully. We're about to find out here in just a minute. Oh, but you guys can't even see me. Ready? Ready for this? Ready? Boom. What's up, guys? Hello, hello, everybody. Okay, it looks like it's doing a lot better now, so we're going to hope for that. How's everyone doing? I keep on thinking it's going to go bad again, but it looks like it's finally doing a little better. Sweet. Well, I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by my internet connection is that I went back to Utah for a little bit, and it was cool to go back and see a lot of my old friends and see some family. Third time's the charm. You got it, Denise. Oh, yeah. And I've been writing down a lot of notes that have been coming to my mind while I was there and just like different things I was thinking about. And I'm excited to talk about them here today. Oh, no. Oh, I thought I was doing it again, but maybe not. Okay, it looks like it's doing all right. Sweet. Well, thanks for coming back to another evening with Eskel, everybody. We're on episode 78, where we're going to talk about all things culty. Thanks for joining us, Flinker Mary. We got, a new name I haven't seen before, MJ Hepburn. Welcome, MJ. Glad you could join us. What's up, Kevin, Mark, Denise? Hello, good to see ya. Crystal, Darcy, meeting Megan, Brooke, and Daniel. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Sorry for the confusion. We had to jump through a couple loops to get started on our live today, but we still beat Amanda. So I don't know what time she's going to be going live today, but I get to go first because I was the first one live. I checked her Instagram, made sure she wasn't live, and she wasn't yet. And so I'm guessing she's going to be going live decently late today because I haven't heard anything. It doesn't even sound like she's getting ready yet. So we got plenty of time. Hope you're all having a great week. Who's had a interesting story that they're going to be sharing with us today? That's what I'm excited for this week. Last week, anyone who was here for the last evening with Eskel, number 77, we talked about interesting life experiences, and one of the stories that I went through having to climb underneath the house. Aw, thank you so much, Denise. Really appreciate the donations. That's awesome. I climbed underneath the house, and I decided that was probably the strangest moment of my entire week, the week before last week. So I gave you all an invite to, throughout the week, just think about interesting circumstances you might find yourself in that, in the moment of it, it just seems unreal, or you don't fully understand how you got there or why you're there. And yeah, if any of you guys have those to share, that'd be great. For me this week, I was looking back on all my notes, and I don't actually have an interesting story like that this week, but I did go back to visit Salt Lake City, and most of my notes are about the different familiarities or reminders and ideas that came back to me, because I even drove past the church that I grew up in. And one of the thoughts that I had while looking at it was just, first of all, just how similar it looks, how unchanged it seems to be. And I kind of thought about that being applied to my life, and how I feel like I've changed so much. And the person I was when I first left the cult that I grew up in, if he would have talked to me where I am right now, I would have been so surprised. I feel I can't quite say that I wouldn't have recognized myself, but it would have been almost exhilarating to be able to see not only the progress that I made, but just to be able to see that the ways that I come up with different ideas, or the ways that my mind comes up with my new belief system, or the way that I interpret the world. I feel like it's just so much more fascinating now. And it's not so black and white, I feel like growing up in a cult or growing up in any constrictive environment, they try to paint the picture as if it's all one specific way or another. There's no variety to it. And it's if you take away the variety of life, you're taking away some of the most beautiful and amazing. Oops, hold on one moment. Hello? Oh, do you want to say hi? No? You look great. You guys want someone to come say hi?
Is there a camera?
Right here. It's like super bright, so you won't get to see much, but Rachel just wanted to come say hi.
Here's the keys.
Sweet. Are you taking off then?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'll give you a call, all right?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. Rachel and I hang out a lot now. But she just wanted to let me know she's taking off. Aw, I should have read all you guys' comments to her. Everyone's saying hi to Rachel. She might watch this later on, and she'll see all you guys' comments then. But I did lose my train of thought. Sorry, guys. Anyways, I will go through the comments. I don't think I'll have time to read all of them, but if anyone has some good stories, then I'll look back. And if anyone, I know it's a lot of typing, so if anyone does, I'll definitely go back and read it. But if not, no big deal. Good. Now you can learn about carbon dating and early hominid development. Good. Now you can learn about carbon dating and early hominid development. I don't know what that is. Anyways, my point was, though, basically to just scratch the whole story, is the fact that looking back on the different changes that I've gone through in my life, and how a lot of the times when you're in a constrictive environment, you don't get as much variety. You don't get to enjoy some of the best parts of life itself. And so I am super grateful and appreciative to it. And I also really like the fact that I'm able to look back on it and kind of acknowledge the steps that I've taken or the changes. And it's just been really cool. I appreciate it a lot, and it's been really fun. So also having to do with, oops, it says to just wait just a minute. I think it might. I really hope it doesn't lag again. Eskel, why were you under the house? I missed it. Oh, you'll have to watch last week's live on that one. I mean, super briefly, I moved. I'm having a lot of new experiences because I have a new job and different things. And so one experience I found myself into that I never could have predicted was that I had to crawl underneath someone's house because they asked me to, just to help them out. But anyways, if you want the full story, just check out Evening with Eskel number 77 last week. It was fun to talk about. The development of the human species I mean Eskel. Oh, the development of the human species. Yeah, isn't that kind of interesting to think about it? I don't think it's very often I think of humanity and humans and me and you and us as people. I don't think of us as a species very often, but the reality is we're all animals. We've got those animal instincts, we got those animal urges, we have all those types of the ways that we become addicted to things, or that we kind of what's it called, where it's almost like a simulation. I don't want to say simulation though, because when people say The Matrix, I think because of the movie The Matrix, it kind of takes it out of proportion a little bit. But I talk about the fact that people sometimes can seem like they're on autopilot and almost seem like, I don't know if drones is the best way to put it, but they're just kind of going through life and they're just out of it. They're not being super intentional about the things that they're doing. Sometimes people will describe it as the path of least resistance, just kind of going to places where it's the easiest, or ending up wherever life takes you and stuff like that. And what I feel I've definitely fallen guilty to that. And so what I've kind of been trying to do is pinpoint certain things that tend to lean me more towards that way, versus what are some other things that helps me to be more what's that word Amanda always use? Self-reflective, I think. Self-understanding, something like that, and less just being a drone and being on autopilot. And autopilot's not always a bad thing, because I think it's very useful in certain things like driving. I definitely drive on autopilot from now on. I'll be going from one place to the next, arrive at my destination, and then snap out of it and be like, wow, glad I got here safe. I don't know how that happened. But one of the things that it made me think of was sleep. I don't know if how much I want to go down the whole rabbit hole of sleep, but I've been loving watching videos about how, first of all, how important sleep is. Like, even one of them, just like a simple Google brought this up, just like if you just Google the importance of sleep, the first thing that comes up is that good sleep improves your brain performance, your mood, and your overall health. Not getting enough quality sleep regularly raises the risk of many diseases and disorders. These range from heart disease and stroke to obesity and dementia. There's more to good sleep than just the hours spent in bed. And then, though, I also heard somebody say, on average, the average human being, so you and me, spend 26 years of our life sleeping. Isn't that crazy? 26 years just sleeping. Like, that's how big of a part of our life that sleep is. And it is. It's really important. It's like something that's not, I don't know. I feel like I take sleep too much as like just a regular thing or something I don't even really pay attention to. But it is so important. And that is one of those things that helps me to not be so much in autopilot. Because especially when I'm traveling, I go the most into autopilot because I don't get very much sleep when I travel. I'm always talking to like really late flights and figuring out where I'm going to be staying, and always trying to plan way too many things when I'm going to new places, that like sleep is one of the first things I start to do very little of when I'm in vacation or traveling. And that's when I notice a lot of the times I kind of turn into a little bit of a zombie, and it's not fun. Like, it's definitely one of those things that is a huge factor in if you're going to be able to be fully functional and fully like living this life to its fullest potential. Sleep is one of those things you have to master if you want to get good at that. And so that's something that's just been on my mind a lot, because when you're talking about how in a cult, I feel like a lot of people, maybe it's not sleep related in particular, but a lot of people tend to kind of just do as they're told and become this type of robotic person, just doing what they need to do rather than making intentional and like choosing for themselves what they're going to be and what they want to become. And a lot of the times that's just, can even be as simple as because they were being talked down to, or like maybe they expressed the dreams that they had and they were shot down, and so that kind of makes them more closed off. There's lots of different reasons, but just being in that cult mindset, I feel like if you don't actually like take the time to like self-reflect on your life and take a step back and see what's actually going on, then that path of least resistance oftentimes can be just becoming more robotic, just doing what you're told, don't question anything, just get it done, do it, and that's it. And a lot of people kind of fall into that same trap. But it's definitely hard to get sleep all of the time, for sure. I wonder what else is a huge, like, maybe habit, I guess you could call it, huge deterrence to being self-conscious and like making your own decisions. Because I know sleep is a huge one. Oh, what's up, Sally? Thanks for joining us. Thanks for commenting. Let's see, Denise had a good one here. Because when you sleep, the neural tangles are cleaned up. They build up and block neural pathways from firing properly. Yeah, some sort of cleanup. I like that description. When I watched this documentary about it, it was really weird when they were saying when you're asleep, your brain is the most active that it's ever going to be. And to me, I thought that was really cool, because the brain is a really powerful tool. And it clearly needs the sleep. It has so much that it's doing while you sleep to like regenerate or to get itself ready for the next day. But it is also strange to me because, now we're going to go talk about the whole God complex, right? Like creating a human being. Isn't it weird that we are created and we have such a limited time on this earth, and then 1/3 of that very limited, precious time on this earth is going to be purely closing your eyes and just laying there? 1/3 of your entire life is that. Like, there's probably not a lot of things in your life you're going to do for that much, that often, It's crazy. But it's just one of those things that we needed. Another funny God conspiracy I thought of this week. I was thinking about how, people talk about Satan almost just as much as they talk about God. Like, you can't really believe in God without believing in Satan, It's like opposite or whatever. But sometimes I hear the stories about Satan, I can't help but a little bit feel possibly like sad for Satan, Satan's got a pretty hard job. if like the way the Bible describes his job anyway, if that's real, then it's like I would kind of feel a little bit bad for the guy. But a part of me, it leads to this whole other reason why it's really hard to believe it, because like you're telling me that Satan, like God goes to Satan and is like, hey, you're not following my plan, like you're trying to create your own plan for the people, like I don't like that, so now you're gonna have to do this hard job, you're gonna have to torture these people right down in hell. And so Satan gets his first person down in hell, and he's like, oh, so you disobeyed God, the same person that I disobeyed, and so I'm supposed to torture you? It's like, no, I'm pretty sure he would just like give them a beer and like hang out with them or something, you know? Like something seems off about that. Why would Satan disobey God, and then he's the one that punishes, the people when they disobey God? It's like, something's not adding up there. That seems a little bit strange to me, but it's interesting to think about. I was just thinking about that this week. I was like, whoever plays Satan's part, whoever wrote that part, like, I wonder if they thought about the fact that Satan himself at one point was an angel. According to the Bible, Satan was an angel living amongst the angels in heaven. So how could someone in heaven who's an angel torture people? Like, that's interesting. I guess, everyone can change. Everyone changes all the time. So maybe that principle is supposed to be shown and taught, that like, everybody changes, even angels. Like, you are not the same person you used to be. And if you're not making a conscious effort for who you want to change into and become, then you're inevitably going to change into something. Like, the change is what's inevitable. It's you making yourself conscious to become what you want to change into versus just letting yourself change into whatever it'll morph into. Isn't that interesting? Man. Oh, every time I think about that, it kind of blows my mind a little bit. That's a fun one to talk about. Anyways, what are you guys' thoughts? Am I way off? Yeah, sometimes I think my mind just goes places and I don't know what it's doing. But anyways, let's read some comments here. I'm just glad the connection is finally doing better. Every once in a while I see the little thing load and I feel like I don't know why, but I think if I like slow down, get quiet, it might help the connection more. But I don't think my movement or sound has anything to do with it. It's just the connection. I'm hoping it'll stay good for the rest of today. But I don't have a ton of time either. Honestly, I will probably already halfway through. I think I'm going to check out the comments here real quick. See if you guys got some good stories from this week. Hope everything's going well for you guys. Oh no. The comments aren't coming up on my phone. I might be in the wrong live though. Oh yeah, is my mic too loud? I always think I'm supposed to hold it right up next to me, but the quality is really good now, so I don't know if I need to. All right, the comments just came up. Let's see what we got going on here. I hope you're all having a great week too. Denise says, sleep is super important. It especially increases the risk of dementia. I know. That's where it gets like scary, man. Do you know what the world record is for not sleeping though? The longest I've ever gone was like 40 hours. 40 something. It was like, I think it was 48. Really close to a full 2 days. I'll have to double check. I thought maybe it was 2 days, but maybe it was just under 2 days. But 48 hours, and it was extremely hard. I'm sure it wasn't good for me. I just felt like I had to do it once in my life. But when I looked at the new world record recently, I was shocked because according to Google, I don't even know how this is possible, but it says the longest a human being has ever stayed awake is 11 days. 11, that's more than a whole week. I thought I had someone just through the grapevine once had told me that if you stayed up for more than 3 or 4 days, you would die. And I believed it because like I would never give that a try. Staying up for even, a full night, all-nighter, and then trying to stay up the next day is hard enough as it is. You do want to die when you do that. So it's like someone made it beyond a full week of no sleep. Do you guys think that's true? Sometimes I question Google, man. I don't know about that. I want to meet the guy. He's probably dead. I'm just kidding. That would make me so sus if the guy was dead. Nice. Lots of comments. Thanks for participating, you guys. This is awesome. Disassociation is super helpful to manage chronic pain. Darcy says, I wish I had an easier time with disassociation. I'm sure that can be tough for a lot of people. Brooke says, poor Satan, right? I mean, if you really, like, let's say for some reason you just became a fan of Satan, right? And you really wanted to deep dive into everything you could figure out about Satan and learn all about him. I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to create some sort of personal connection to him, probably see some similarities with him, and then be like, damn, like, he does have a pretty hard life. Wonder why God put him through that, you know? That almost doesn't really sound fair. But Todd says, don't worry, guys. I'll ask him when I get there. That's a good one, Todd. Oh, that's so funny. Denise says, you should Google hypotherapy and see if you have anyone in your area. If not, try different guides, meditations online. I'll do a quick Google search. Why not? Let's see what it says. Hypnotherapy. I'll just check real quick. Okay, so hypnotherapy is a heightened state of concentration and focused attention guided by a trained, certified hypnotist or hypnotherapist. Hypnosis allows you to be more open to suggestions to make helpful changes in your perceptions, sensations, emotions, memories, thoughts, or behaviors. Whoa, that seems really cool. I like that. Really, to me, that makes me think of it's basically someone helping you to deep dive into your own mind, like into your own head, so you can like become more personally attached to your emotions, your thought process, and your perceptions of life. That seems really cool. I bet that would be fun to try. MJ says, you're making my brain hurt. Eskel, I don't usually think this hard. Well, good. I'm glad I'm making you question the reality you live in, because I feel like that's what I hope to do a lot of the times. When I have conversations with people, it's my favorite thing when they can present an idea or share something new to me that I've never thought of in that way, like ever in my whole life. And so I think that's really cool. Because, okay, here's another one that just happened this week. And I got to give credit because I was talking to my brother David. And maybe it's just, the fact that we both grew up in a cult or something. But I have noticed a lot of the times with my sisters or with some of my brothers, then they'll say something that just absolutely destroys my thought process or a particular perception that I have about something, right? And what my brother David did is he completely altered my perception of death itself. So get this, okay? Coming really close because this part is crazy. I hope I can explain as well as him. But in essence, we were talking about how sad it is when people die. A lot of people go through so many different things. And then, though, we were talking about the fact that, from an eternal perspective, like if God himself was looking at the deaths of people, it probably isn't such a sad thing, right? He guaranteed that we're all going to die. That's basically the one thing we're going to 100% count on when we come to this life, right? Come to this planet or whatever. So we all know that we're going to die. So what if in the next life, the real view or perception of death is the moment or the basically the way your death happened, right? So get this. So let me just try to explain this. Think of it like you're in the afterlife, right? And you're talking to all these people. One thing that would be very fascinating and that everybody could relate to is how somebody died. So it would make a lot of sense that in the next life, your main conversation topic could be, how did you die? One of the first questions you ask all of the spirit people or all your friends in the afterlife or whatever, right? And then what will actually be kind of I don't want to say the most valuable, but the most interesting or what would get people's attention the most is whoever has the most interesting way of dying, right? And it was so interesting because I was like, actually, everyone would be able to relate to it. So it would be something that all the people would talk about. And then like, if you just died the way that basically everybody dies, you wouldn't have much of a story. You know, what are you going to say? It would just be, you'd say how you died and that's it. But like, I don't know, if you died in some crazy epic thing or huge explosion or like, I don't know, you drove your car into this epic wave or something, I don't know, or you're surfing or just doing some epic thing, then it's like, wow, you would have much more of a conversation topic to really spin off of. Like you tell someone you got, I don't know, you were surfing on a wave and a shark jumped out and bit you and ate you, then that can lead into the fact that you love surfing. I don't know. But like, it was just so interesting to think about that. That's possible. You know, it could be the reality that in the next life, the way you die is one of the most interesting aspects of you. You know, one of the first things that you're going to talk to people about. And so it's like all the more reason to make sure your life is epic. You know, make sure you're always doing something interesting, I guess. That's what I took away from it anyways. But what do you guys think? Is that too crazy? It's just an idea. I'm not encouraging death in any means. But it is the one thing that's inevitable. We're all going to go through it. So in the next life, I don't know, I'm probably going to ask you guys about it. You know? It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. Anyways, let's see what else we got here going on. Brooke says, I don't believe he's real. Not worried about it, but if he's got good beat, that sounds nice. Interesting. Nice. Kevin says his week has been so-so. Okay. Pretty average week. Those are bound to happen eventually. Sally, you spent the night in the ER? Oh my. Oh, what's up, Val? Val's here. How's it going? Everyone's saying hi to you, Val. What is up? Oh, Denise is saying, I went 76 hours. Do not do that ever. 76 hours. That's more than 3 days. Wow. I used to believe someone could die going without sleep for that long. And people probably can, too. Like, I bet that's a very real possibility. But I also never used to believe someone could go a whole week without sleeping. But apparently, the world record is longer than that. 76 hours, I did feel like I was going to die. Wow. I believe it. Ask college students how long they've gone without sleep, LOL. Some college students go pretty crazy about all that, that's for sure. Ooh, Val commented. He says, I didn't die, but I was seeing things not there, LOL. I was like, okay, bedtime. I was up almost 4 days with less than 2 hours those days. Whoa. Yeah, hallucinations are a huge thing people talk about when they try to go without sleep. Denise says, Val, I thought I was a hummingbird. Oh, man. Dang. Think of the crazy experiences people must go through. Christy says, you definitely do not want a connection with Satan. Just saying. But why, though? I get it. The Bible depicts Satan as, I don't know, the gatekeeper of hell, I guess, right? He's the one that disobeyed God, and now he wants to tempt everybody to be like him. But it's like, technically, if God approves everything that happens in this world, God approves all of those temptations that Satan is giving us. So is Satan really doing a bad thing, or is he doing the task that God gave him? Think about that one. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't even know if I believe in Satan. I'm just saying the idea of Satan, it seems like we're missing a piece because it doesn't fully make sense to me that the way Satan is Satan was just as simple as that, you know? And that Satan would just do what the Bible says he's doing when all he did was want a different plan than what was first set up. MJ says, you're definitely getting my brain working. There you go. Your brain is like a muscle too. You should be exercising it every week with me on Evening with Eskel. Val says, LOL Denise, I thought I was a Pokemon. Oh my goodness. Crystal says, my history teacher always told me there's only 2 things you have to do in life. Pay taxes and die. Well, one of those only applies to certain countries, though. I heard if you live in Dubai and you're a resident of Dubai, you don't have to pay any taxes there. It's just a lot of the major countries that you got to pay your taxes, that's for sure. That's pretty unavoidable. But people keep on posting and saying Trump avoids taxes somehow. I don't know how that works. But I do feel like taxes are pretty expensive, man. I am shocked at how much goes towards taxes. Darcy says, the young man my daughter was planning her future with was run over by a tractor and killed. It's been 4 years and it can still be very tough for her. Fortunately, his family embraces her. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, that is wild. It's like the death itself, I think what makes it so hard is the randomness of when it comes, the timing, in essence, because we all know that we're going to die, right? But what makes it so hard to deal with is the fact that we just don't know when. We only know the time frame of roughly, around 80 years. But it can be any time, really. Today could be your last day. That's crazy to think about. Just means you probably better make it count, man. Make it last. Val says, I love waffles. Nice. Queen Bee says, I don't believe Satan either. You don't believe in Satan, or you don't believe the stories he tells us? The voices in my head. I'm just kidding. Val says, praise Satan, everybody. Just praise him. Oh, man. Val would be the most adorable Pokemon ever. What a compliment, Darcy. Denise says, this topic was brought up by Anne Rice in the Lastest Vampire series, the deal between God and the fallen angel and free will. Yeah, see, that's where free will gets complicated, because it's like, if God knows everything that's going to happen, are we doing it? Or does God allow a sense of unpredictability? Does God maybe have an idea of what most people will do and how this world's outcome will be, but we can still change, the time frame or the timeline, whatever you want to call it? Or does he just know everything? Does he know exactly how everything's going to play out already? See, that's kind of interesting. Taylor says, Trump is being indicted on 18,000 charges. Oh, well. Yeah, I have to. In fact, I saw a post of him getting arrested recently. I think he might be in jail. So maybe it is a good idea to pay your taxes, you guys. I definitely wouldn't risk it. Oh, man. Denise says, not that I recommend those books for you, Eskel. Are we too graphic? Oh, it's books. I like reading, but I'm a really slow reader. So when I commit to a book series, it is a big deal to me. Right now, I'm on The Way of Kings, that book series. Oh, wait, I don't know if that's the book name or the series name, but The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I started this book series at the beginning of this year. I'm still reading it. But this is what I would consider my leisurely reading. I read my productive reading, like side by side. Like I'll do my leisurely reading usually at night before I go to bed, and then my productive reading in the morning, which is like, I read that book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I recently just finished Atomic Habits. That one's actually really cool. I like that one a lot. But my favorite productive one I've read so far was Split the Difference. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to dedicate a little time to this. So the book Split the Difference, the reason why it stood out to me so much is because not only are the things that are talked about in that like super fascinating and interesting, but they are 100% applicable to real life situations. And I love it. I think it's so much more meaningful when you can think about exactly what they're talking about in the book and their situation they're going through and apply it to something that you have gone through or something that you're going to be going through throughout your life. And that book was so good at doing that and just was amazing. It literally, like the person sharing all these ideas was a detective for, I know I'm going to get the name wrong, but ransom negotiation. So he was the police officer, the FBI agent that when someone would get kidnapped and, they're trying to like get money for the person they kidnapped, he was one of the top detectives to handle those situations and figure out how to take care of them. And it's really cool to like read him talk about his thought process on every situation, how intense they would be and how like literally someone's life would be on the line and you have to figure out how to save them. It was really cool. That's one book I would always recommend. And I only read it because my sister Cammie actually recommended it to me, and she let me use her audiobook to start listening to it as well. So it was really cool. I liked it. Anyways, Todd says he's not in jail. Okay. So he just maybe got arrested and then that's it? They didn't actually go to jail? Val says, mortals can comprehend God? IDK. Mortals can comprehend God? Oh, that's a good point, Val. Maybe God made us dumb. Or at least, just not quite smart enough to fully comprehend or understand what a God would be, or what God is. That would be kind of interesting. But I wonder about that, though, because then I try to think of what would be the reasoning, what's the actual implication? Because if you have a kid, right? Get this. So you have a kid, like if I had a kid, my goal would be I want that kid to eventually surpass me, I want to teach him everything that I know. I want to give him every resource and opportunity I can give him so that he can, learn everything I know and keep learning, go beyond that, And so it's like, if God views us as his creation, why wouldn't he want to? That's why the theory, and I don't know if I fully believe in this, but I do like playing with the thought and the idea that eventually we might become gods ourselves, because it's like, that would kind of make sense. Because if I had a kid, I'd want him to get to the point where I'm at and hopefully even do greater things or do better, That it's like, it would make sense to me that God is like creating this world for us to like be our school, for us to learn how to grow and become the person we want to be. And then it could hopefully help us to become even better, greater things, or become gods ourselves, or at least be able to, become whatever he wants us to become when we're here. I would think that that's somewhat the goal. I don't know. But you're right. It also would make a lot of sense that maybe we can't fully comprehend God's because we're mortals. And that's just something that's saved for the next life. Which also could fit into the same theory, though, because maybe in this earth we are becoming as great as God at, like, social interactions or growing as an earthly being. But we don't need to know the concept of time or the concept of immortality or gods or whatever, because frick. Oh my goodness. I guess that's the end of the show. No, I'm just kidding. I hope the sound is still going. I don't know, though. It doesn't look like it. Freak. Yeah, that's the end. Well, if you guys can still hear, I hope you have a great week. I'll see you in next week's live. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching. Oh, you can still hear me. Okay. I could at least finish this thought then. I can hear you. Yo. No, Todd, he did not. Okay. I do. Should I still? I don't even know if I can remember where I was at with all that. But anyways, I think you guys get the idea. Just that, who knows if we could fully comprehend everything. But I like to believe that God put us here to at least progress in a sense that we can So we might as well still try to make the most of it, right? Because it's like we're in college, you know? We're supposed to learn something here. It is kind of weird that we don't know exactly what we're supposed to learn here, but we're here for a reason. At least I like to believe so. Who knows? It could just be random fate and randomness. Yeah, that's always a possibility. But I like to think that we're here for a reason, because then that gives me more determination to be like, okay, I need to take something out of this life, you know? I want to accomplish something. I want to be really good at something, right? So, anyways, thank you guys for joining. Apparently, my connection, my camera, and just everything wants it to be over for this week. But I'll be here again next week. I hope you guys can join then, and thanks for listening. Hope you all have a good one. Bye.